So today I was on Google and I decided to look up what is the average net worth of a 30-year-old. I'm 28 years old, I'm almost there, and it was really interesting to find that the average net worth of a 30-year-old is $7,000. And it made me think whether that number is true or not true, that I figured I'd share with you in this video how I've been able to save over $100,000 before 30. I'm 28 years old right now, and I'm gonna give you 3 tips today that have helped me the most along my journey in saving and investing as a young professional. My name is Dane Camella. I'm a corporate technology professional sharing videos on career, personal development, and performance tips. So if you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe so you can see more videos to come. Tip number 1, and this is gonna be the biggest tip that I think can help you get to saving $100,000 or even more by the time you're 30, and that's gonna be ownership. Ownership. And when I say ownership, I don't mean starting your own company, quitting your job, and trying to pursue becoming an entrepreneur. There's nothing wrong with trying to become an entrepreneur, but when I mean ownership, I mean finding a career, a job, an opportunity that gives you ownership in the company. If you can go work for a tech startup, you get stock in the company. If you can go work for a Facebook, a LinkedIn, a Microsoft, these companies give you the ability to buy stock in the company at a discounted rate. When I was looking at my personal situation, how can I save more money? How can I invest more money to get me to my goals? I looked at how can I join a company that gives me a piece of the company that I'm actually working for. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can go and talk to someone who you know who has a company, and maybe it's small, maybe they have 5 employees, and you're willing to work for that person for free or for a small sum to get a piece of the upside of the business's success. You don't have to go work for a Facebook or a LinkedIn or a massive Fortune 100 or 500 company. But if you do decide to go down the route of working for a company, the biggest thing I can say from my advice and my experience is it is so much better to work for a company that gives you the ability to have ownership in the company, ownership in the upside of the company. I know more than one person, not just from my experience alone, they were able to take a % of their paycheck and invest it in the company stock at a discount. And when you do that, you get to benefit from the upside of the growth of the company. Is this gonna be more predicated to technology startups? Yes, but then look at all the companies that are bigger Fortune 500, Fortune 1000. They not only have 401k programs, which we'll get into, but they give you the ability to buy into the company. And if you can buy into the company and reap the success of the company becoming more profitable, more successful, you are going to have a unfair advantage, if you will, from someone who is just working for a job that gives them $15 an hour and they don't give them any upside of the business's success. So tip number 1, ownership. I'm not talking about owning a property or anything like that. I'm strictly talking picking a profession which you are going to spend a third of your life doing, where you can benefit outside of the money that they pay you every 2 weeks. They will also pay you for being a part of the company and giving you the option to buy stock in the company. Tip number 2, and something that has helped me so much on my journey as well, is saving a % of your income. And I know you might have heard this many times, but when I say saving a % of your income and someone who is ambitious and wanting to get to $100,000, I mean saving 20% or more of your after-tax income. So everything that comes in, you're saving 20% or more. The faster you can get to 30, 40, 50%, and I know that might seem like a stretch, but if you prioritize, you set up some things and you get really strict with being able to do this, it's gonna help you. And the other thing I would add on top of saving 20% or more is automating it. So every time you get that check, it automatically moves to a high interest savings account that you might have. It moves to a Charles Schwab, a Fidelity 401k, or an IRA that you have at that moment. That is going to help you save so much more. And there's a book out there by Tony Robbins. It's Money Master the Game, and there's a story in there that's super interesting. And it was a story of a UPS driver. And this goes way back to, I believe he retired at 1952. So he retired at 1952 with $70 million. And his salary was at its peak, $14,000 a year. I know you have to adjust for the time, but I think this story is a great example of what compound interest and saving a % of your income can provide for you. So that person who was a UPS driver who retired with $70 million was saving 20% of his $14,000 a year salary. He took a substantial amount of his income and he invested it in what I was just talking about before in the first tip, in UPS stock. and other investments, 401ks, et cetera, et cetera. And he was able to retire with $70 million. I'm talking about saving $100,000 by the time you're 30, not $70 million. But that just goes to show you that if you can force savings, that you can force and continue to slowly make a little bit more contributions to your 401k, you can slowly make maybe a little bit more contributions to just your high interest savings account, it's going to take you leaps and bounds. If you work for a company or you are looking to work for a company, I would highly suggest finding a company that gives you the ability to invest in a 401k that matches you up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. That means if you make a $60,000 a year salary and they're gonna match you 3% of your yearly salary, it will give you an additional $1,800 of free money every single year. So you invest the $1,800 if you were saving that percent to put towards your 401k, and the company will match you an additional $1,800. That is free money, and I would suggest to go above and beyond and save more than whatever your company is gonna match you, because that's being put into a investing account where you can benefit from the market. If you look at the S&P over the last 90 years, it's gone up, I believe, about 10%. So you're making that 10% every single year compounded, and that money turns into a lot more money. Tip number 3, invest in yourself. And yes, I mean you. Invest in yourself. But when I say invest in yourself, I'm not talking about, ooh, I'm gonna go get that nice watch. Ooh, I need to upgrade my car. Ooh, I need to get a nicer house. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying investing in yourself, your personal development, your professional development, your education as a young professional. So investing in yourself is something that I've done for the last 10 years of my life. And I've spent thousands and thousands and $10,000 plus on my own personal development, my own education, from reading books, from getting more skills so I can become more valuable in the marketplace. Your income, if you've ever heard this before, your income is directly proportionate to the value that you bring to the marketplace. So if you can invest the money you make, a percent of the money you make, you know, you're saving 20, you're saving 30, you're saving 40, you're getting a lot of that money that you're making saved. If you can take a percent of it, 1, 2, 5, 10% of the money that you earn and invest it in your own self-education, it's gonna give you the chance to get more skills, to become more valuable, so you can go to your job, you can go to your boss, your manager, and ask them, hey, I've done this. Can I get a raise? Can I make more money? And that ability is gonna give you another better chance at getting to $100,000 by the time you're 30. Brian Tracy, someone who was the first person I started reading when I got into personal development, self-education, self-improvement, said that every $1 that you invest in your personal development is going to give you $10 in return to that $1. Darren Hardy wrote about this in his book, Compound Effect. He said that has been the biggest thing that has helped him in his career. And this is someone who makes millions and millions of dollars a year. He doesn't even know how it's been harder and harder for him to find ways to invest that money. And I'm telling you, if you start early, not only with investing, but you start early with investing in yourself, reading books, expanding your mind, expanding your education, your professional development, it will help you increase your income to get you to that goal of saving $100,000 a year. I have a question for you. What is your savings goal in 2020? Leave a comment below. I'd love to see what you're trying to strive for this year. Doesn't have to be $100,000, but I'd love to know. And before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you can see more future videos to come.